So the first thing to do here is to understand what the question is asking. It says, in the passage, the author's childhood wish to be a Renaissance artist is best understood as. So basically, what is the passage saying about his wish to be a Renaissance artist? So let's look at the line that says it. It's the last line that says, I wanted to be a Renaissance artist, write, paint, compose music, invent things. Okay, well, let's see. Let's go to A. It says, an early sign of artistic ability. Well, the reason I don't quite like A is because just because he wants to be a Renaissance artist doesn't necessarily that means that shows signs of him being good at all those things. And in fact, there's evidence in here that says he wasn't that great at all things. For example, on line 6, it says, since my command of the crayon was greater than my command of writing, right? So I'm not too convinced with A. Let's go to B. A common goal of young people. Well, I definitely don't think this is right, because I don't think that most young people want to write, paint, compose music, invent things. And he also never says that, right? He never says that this is common among young people. So I probably would get rid of B. C. A naive and grandiose ambition. Now this one I'm not too sure about. Naive means innocent, right? Not knowing much about the world. And grandiose means over the top. Now, the only reason I might think it's C is the line before the last one that says, I too seriously, committed myself to writing poetry. That means it seems like he was very, when he was young, he was very ambitious and thought that this was very, very serious when, in fact, now looking back on it, he thinks that it wasn't as serious as it might have seemed, right? Which could be naive and grandiose, right? He was a little bit innocent, he was a little bit over the top. That seems to fit-ish. Let's go to D. The beginning of an arduous and painful apprenticeship. Well, I think that's kind of random. I don't see anything in this passage talking about an apprenticeship, and I also don't really think it was arduous, which means like tough, a hard road, and painful, right? Nothing about it being really, really painful here. So I don't like D so much. Now, E sounds like a pretty decent answer. It says, the spark that initiated a devotion to the visual arts. Now, the problem with E, right, is the visual arts part. He says, I want to be a Renaissance artist. Write, paint, compose music, invent things, right? Visual arts would be painting, but the other ones don't really fall in that category. Writing, not really a visual art. Composing music, not visual, right? And inventing things, not visual either. So out of all these answers, I think the only one that somewhat fits is C. But this one's very, very tough because it's only hinging on that one parentheses where it says too seriously. That makes me think that he thinks his view when he was younger was a little bit too intense, right? So I think it's C.